corresponding the body section attributes. Now, one more point I told you, the semantics. So in HTML5, so the new semantics introduced into body section. So that means generally body section contains paragraphs, images, tables, forms, and all. Additionally, some new options are added. So the new options into the body section, we have aside like article, dialogue, figure, fig caption. We have now, menu, header, footer, section, main, and div, span, all this. Now, we need to understand what is the purpose of them. So what is the purpose? So these are the new semantics into the body section. All these are containers only. Containers means they contain some information inside them. So we have to keep some content inside them. All these are containers. What is the meaning of them actually? What is the purpose? When to use them? Actually, these all are used to make the body section more SEO friendly. So that search engines can easily understand where is your main content, where is your header, where is your footer, where is your navigation, all such things. So generally, when you have to deal with all these options, so we need to handle so in a proper way according to the situation. Let's see what they are first. Actually, aside means it contains information which is not related to your website. So which is not related to your website. That means it contains information which is not related to current website. That means in our website, what we keep which is not related to our website. What do you say? In our website, what do you keep which is not related to our website? Do we keep anything which is not related to our website? What is your idea? What do you say? Yes, we keep so many things which are not related to our website, such like advertisements, am I right? Like advertisements, ads. That means we publish advertisements of others in our website, which are not belonging to which are not belonging to our website. So we call these as aside. So such advertisements are kept in aside. Article means it publishes information, that means highlights of your website. That means recently you announced some offer, recently you announced some results. So something highlights, some updates happened, some new concepts added, so that we can define in article. Article is used for publishing your highlights of your websites. That is for article. Dialogue is used as a pop-up. So pop-up for interactions like chatting, like comments, all such things. So that means dialogue will not be shown every time in the page. Dialogue will be displayed only when we need it. So dialogue is displayed only when we need it. So dialogue is used for that particular reason. So generally, you visit any website. For example, I'm visiting a website like nareshit.com. Okay, some website. And when we open this nareshit.com website, and you can see here, there is a chart option at the bottom. There is a chart option at the bottom. And when I click that chart option, that means when I click on that chart now, automatically a pop-up will come. In that, user can enter those details and configure them. So that means this will not be displayed. So this will not be displayed until or unless user wants it. These are called dialogues. We call them dialogues. Dialogues can be kept hidden, and whenever we want, we can pop up them and we can display. So these are called dialogues. So if you want such dialogues, you have to design in dialogue. But it will not get that appearance and effects. For that, we need a lot of CSS also. In HTML, these are just containers. Containers are used to just keep your content. Later, we can give them good functionality. For that, we need a lot of CSS also. So these have certain reason. Advertisements we keep in aside. Highlights we keep in article. So any pop-up interactions we want, we will keep in dialogue. There can be more than one dialogue. There can be more than one article. There can be more than one aside in a page. So if you want picture and picture captions, you have figure and figure caption. Yesterday, I told you one problem with images. In old versions, we have images, and for that we have captions separately. So fig caption, we have a caption separately. Due to that, what happens, it gets confused between the image above or below like that. But now what we can do is we can combine this image and its caption into a unit, into a block. So this is a figure element. This is a figure element. And in that we have a figure caption. So in that we have a fig caption. And in that we have an image. That means now this caption is linked to that particular image. That looks better. So that means now search engines are cleanly understanding that this caption belongs to this image. So picture and caption we can keep together by using figure and figure caption, fig caption. Nav is used for navigation area. Navigation area. So sometimes navigation area present at the top, sometimes at the bottom. You see here navigation is at the top. This is the navigation area. In the navigation area, so sometimes websites have navigation left side, sometimes top, sometimes both left and top. In that navigation area, you have items like this. These are called menus. In the navigation, we keep menu. In the navigation, we keep menu. So menu is used for showing some collection of items. You cannot design such a screen immediately. For that, a lot of CSS is required. But first, we need to understand the purpose of them. So for which purpose we use nav, and for which purpose we use menu. Header, footer. Header indicates top margin, footer indicates bottom margin. What you want to show as top and bottom. You see header, usually header here it is having India's #1 training institute at the top, and there is a logo. This is kept in the header. Footer usually at the bottom, you will have like this. This is all footer only. There can be very lengthy footer. So they designed a footer with a lot of columns inside it. So this is all footer only. So the footer contains all these options and kept here. So, and between header and footer, whatever is there, this is called section. We call this as section. So between header and footer, whatever is present, that is called section. We have that section. So that is header, footer, section. And inside the section, your main content is kept in main. That means inside that section, so this is our main content. We can keep it in a main area. What are our services? So you can keep entire in a main area. Or you can keep any one content in the main area. That means what are your main services? What are the main functionalities of your website? You can keep that. So others you can keep below that or beside it there, depending on requirement. That is for main. So we have the main options. We have div and spans. There is nothing special about divs and span. Only simple point you need to understand. Div is a block container. That means it keeps the content line by line. And span is an inline container. So it keeps the contents side by side. If you want a collection of items to keep line by line, you use divs. If you want to keep side by side, then you use span. That's it. Many times people have a lot of confusion about them because actually your friends or somebody who tells you about HTML without having a proper knowledge of HTML, they create this div and span like a alien concept, space concept. That means it is very complicated. So it is very important, div and span. You can't understand easily. So that all nonsense is bugged into your brain by your friends because your friends don't know what is HTML properly and they will tell you some suggestions about HTML. Due to that, your brain will be cooked up with a lot of nonsense about div and span. So remove all that. Simple. So people who built HTML, they say that divs are used for block containers and span is used for side-by-side container. And if your friend says something else, that is rubbish, right? Why? Because they cannot say that what I say is better than the people who built HTML, and people will laugh at that. So don't get misguided or bluffed with all such nonsense, because many times, again and again, I am explaining, people again and again come with the same doubt. Sir, div and span only this much. Yes, only this much, nothing else, right? So don't get into the concept of any additional things people say about div and span. There is nothing much about that. Earlier, we have to use tables for arranging the information in rows and columns. For that, we use lot of tables, but tables are creating problem. That's the reason in the new version, they invented the concept of divs and span. Div is for line by line, that is blocked container, and span is side by side. You keep the content side by side. So div also can be kept side by side by using CSS, but default behavior is line by line. That's a blocked container. You will see in so many examples. So earlier we have to arrange rows and columns. So, but now we do in div and span. That is only the point. So if anyone asks what is div, so it is a block container which keeps the content line by line, and span is an inline container, so which keeps the content side by side. That's it. This is only the point you need to understand and work. We will see in various examples. Now remember, these are all the new options introduced into HTML body section to make the body section more search engine friendly. But these will not have the same effect how you are looking for until or unless you use CSS. Without CSS, if you write this, nothing will be there. You will not see any difference. For example, so you cannot get a chat box like this. For that, you have to learn so many things. You have to learn styles, you have to learn forms, you have to design the forms. You need to use JavaScript for pop-up and pop-down. You cannot simply write one dialogue and say that it will open like this. So you have to design according to the requirements. So we have to first understand what the containers are. Then based on that, we need to manage. Let's see how to keep these containers. That means how to use them. How do we work with them? So let's design a page. So let's add a new page in our public folder called in the public folder. Select there, add a new file. I say layout.html. Okay. Now in this, let's design the document. Doc type HTML, head and title. Just I will use layout. Meta, link, all these are not required every day for learning purpose because already we learned. Finally, while designing every page, you should have a link and a favorite icons and all. As of now, for everyday practice, what topic we are discussing, we will concentrate on that. So in the head, after that, we will keep a body, and in the body section, we need to arrange the content. We are using all the semantics now. Suppose here we are writing, so header. We are writing header. This is header. And inside the header, I am writing something like some Amazon, so shopping, online store, something like this. That is just a header. Okay, that's a container. Every semantic element is a container. Then why you have so many containers? Because every container have a different purpose. So search engines can understand that if anything is present in header, that means it may be the company name or the logo, such information. So similarly, we have footer. In the footer, here I am writing something like, in the footer, I am writing a div. This is a div. This is one container. Inside footer again. And in this, I am writing here ampersand copy semicolon. It will put a copyright symbol and copyright and 2021. And that is one line. I will go into another line, div. That is in another line. So here we need to use, suppose like footwear, like so fashion, like electronics, some options I have defined. Later we can create links, combinations and other options also. So here we are configuring this and we are defining, okay, this is the header and this is the footer. Fine. Now between header and footer, we are writing a section. And in the section, there can be so many things to define. So top margin header, bottom margin footer and section. In the section, suppose I am creating a main content. So, and in the main content, we will keep all the details. That means shopping site, online shopping site, something like this, online shopping site. Okay. And we put some paragraphs of information inside this. We can keep any content. So let's copy and paste one paragraph of information inside this. So if from anywhere, you can copy a paragraph here. Okay, a paragraph, and you can paste that here. Okay. Later we will keep images and all those options. That is the main content. Now we have an article. In the article, we say some 70% off on 70% off on electronics, something like this. That is article we defined. Now aside, we are writing some aside. Aside, we say suppose ads here. Currently, I am just using plain text inside it. So plain text inside it, just simple plain text I am giving. So later you will put images and so many things, because first we need to understand the purpose of container. We have an article, we have aside, so main. So initially you can write them anywhere. There is no order. I already told you that there will be no order. But traditionally, header will be top, footer will be bottom, section will be between header and footer. Where you keep the article, where you keep aside, where you keep main, that's your wish. After writing like this also, you can change their positions by using styles. That's what I will show you now. So suppose I'm adding a dialogue. Dialogue is nothing but like chart with, so HR, something like this. So chart with customer care, something like this. So this is a dialogue. In the main, if you want some images to keep, and you can use a figure. So figure will have image here. We can keep a picture. We can have a fig caption. So fig 1, something like this. That picture will have a caption, so you can keep. Later we can keep images there. Now these are all the options here, and we need some navigation. In the section, so I am writing here, navigation you can keep at the top or bottom. I am creating nav. In the navigation, so I am creating here, so a div. So, or you can simply add here. So we have a menu. In the menu, we can have a div. This is like home, another div. So this is like electronics. This is line by line content. Another div like footwear. So another div like fashion, like this. Now sometimes, generally what we do here is, this is the navigation. Inside that we have the menu. Sometimes navigation can be at the top, at the bottom. You see at the bottom I given. You want to keep them side by side. The better way, you keep span. So this is, so electronics. And you put another span. So a pipe symbol between them. Then another span, so footwear. So here we have a span pipe symbol, okay. And another span, fashion, something like this. And this is keeping the contents side by side. Inline block, this is called. And this is called block. So block and inline, you can have both options. Now you can see that, I hope everything is there now. So we used aside, we used article, we used dialogue, figure caption. We have a nav, menu, header, footer, section, main, and we have a div and span. Everything is there inside our page. But you used everything, but without any CSS, we used everything here. Now when I run this, you can see that in the output, it is going to display in this way. It is going to display in this way. So it is going to keep the content in this way. So that means everything is there, but it is like this. You cannot see much difference in appearance. So then you will have a doubt, then why we used so many things. That is to make the robots understand that So these belongs to navigation. So this belongs to article. This is an aside. This is image. This is header. This is footer. Now, temporarily, what we are going to do now is we will learn basic how to apply some styles. But remember, we are going to learn CSS separately. But CSS to generally we have to learn CSS after learning all HTML. But while we are learning HTML, if we learn little bit introduction working with small CSS, then by the time we finish HTML, we will get perfection on designing complex things. That's the reason. Don't worry about all the options of CSS. You are going to learn about them in CSS. As of now, you can practice little bit CSS with HTML simultaneously along with HTML so that you can make the presentation better. So just concentrate on only what I am discussing in the class. Don't go anything extra. So that means what we are learning in the class, you just follow that. Because when we learn CSS, we are going to learn everything in CSS because some people have immediate excitement. When I say we will keep this left, then immediately he will ask, sir, how to put in the back side, how to put in the left side, right side. You will learn everything. So, but gradually, step by step, point by point, once we go explore, we will learn everything. So don't think anything extra in CSS other than what we are learning in the current session. So later you are going to use them and learn them and work with them. So just to make this presentation better, what you have to do now is go here. In the head section, we are adding a style element. Style. Okay, good. In this style element, now I want to apply style for header. So you just write header. Later you will learn about ID, classes, and so many types of selections will be there. Don't worry. As of now, to which element you want to apply, write that element and use a block. This indicates what styles you want for the header. For header, what effects you want. You can write some effects. Basically, we will see some effects. For example, I want to apply background color. So we will use background hyphen color. Background color. Any color we can apply from here. Suppose I am applying some tomato. That is the background color. So background color sets a background color for this header. Okay. Next, for the header, I will write in header we have some text. That color is text color. Color is text color. I will keep it white. These are simple to understand. Background color colon, it will be this. Color will be white. Okay. Text align. Alignment we will keep center. That means whatever the content is in header section, it will be center aligned. We will keep that in the center. Okay. And font weight bold, we can keep it bold. And we will keep it font size little larger. Then we will use font size. You have to write in pixels. How many pixels? So 30 pixels font size. That's the size we are defining. Pixels you have to write px. This is the effect for header. And you can see that automatically the header will come with that effect. Header will come with that effect. And one more option you can see. I want some space around that heading because that border looks like exactly on it. space around the text, you can do that by using padding. You have to write padding. Padding some 5 pixels. Padding will keep space around the text. So you can see some space will come around the text so that it looks so better, not exactly on the border, some space above, some space below. That is padding. So this is the appearance for header. You can give so many things, borders, shading, and all this. Later you are going to learn in CSS. Currently, this is simple to understand. Header have a background color. It have a color, text alignment center, font weight bold, font size, how much thickness, so and padding some space. Now similarly, I will write for footer. Footer also background color tomato and the color as white and the text align center, and I will keep as font style as italic, font style italic. So, and here I will give padding 5 pixel. And you can see at the bottom, the footer comes in this way. That is the footer. So we have the header and the footer. So the content header and footer will be like this, at the top, at the bottom. Now, later when you learn more CSS, you can make more better appearance. So don't worry about that. You are gradually going to learn about them. Because without applying CSS, when we look at the layout that we have designed, it doesn't look appealing to the user interface friendly. So we are adding little bit CSS into this. Okay. Next, header is ready. So footer is ready. I hope these styles are simple to understand to everyone. No confusion now, right? So how to write the styles? There is no confusion. There is simple concept to understand. To which element you want to apply, write that element and what effects. Later in CSS, you are going to learn all these effects. You are going to learn so many effects. Gradually, you will learn so many. Okay, header, footer ready. Next, section. So in the section, you can see section. Generally, section, so the between header and footer, I want some height, fixed height. So that means I will just give section height as some 350 pixels. And you can see section height is 350 pixels. It increases. That looks better. So we have height 350 pixels. And sometimes there can be a lot of content between header and footer. Inside the section, there can be so many paragraphs. So then what happens is, if you have so many paragraphs, suppose I have some more paragraphs here. Some more paragraphs are there here. Then usually what happens, you see the content goes down. So that means section height is 350, but content is more than that section. If content is more than the section, then content will overflow outside that section area. That means this content in the section is overflowing. Then what you do is simply you can write overflow auto. If you say overflow auto, then automatically you can see that. So a scroll bar will come here so that you can scroll that and you can watch it. Auto, that will get a scroll bar for you so that you can scroll the content and hit it. Generally, when you are adjusting the height, so when you are adjusting the height, because sometimes when your content height is more than what you are expecting, it is height. Actually, this is the original size actually. And you may have a lot of more content also. In that case, we need that. In that case, we need overflow. Suppose if height is, suppose 450 pixels height. Now height is there. Then, so suppose 500 pixels height. And you can see the scroll bar will disappear automatically. There will be no scroll bar. So later, if you are adding more content inside it, then automatically scroll bar will come. So that is good. So if you are adding more content, so that header and footer will be fixed there. Rest of content will be scrolling inside it. For that, better you give overflow as auto. That means anything is additional, it will automatically put a scroll bar. Okay, this is header. Okay, in this section, so we have lot of content divisions. Section has lot of divisions. Observe carefully in the section. We have a nav and article aside main dialogue. Better what you do is keep only two areas inside this. So section, we can keep two areas, we can keep three area, anything. Nav is one area. So that is nav, that is one area. And in the section, so we have article and aside. We will keep inside this main. Article and aside also we will keep in the main. Later we can move them wherever you want, you can move them. So, and dialogue also I will keep in the main. We will keep in the main. That means now section contains two areas only. One is the navigation area, another one is the main area. So it is containing two areas. So one is navigation area and another one main area. So section contains two areas. This is the section, one navigation, another one main. In main, everything is kept. Later we can change them. Initially, now what I can do here is this section area, I can divide into columns. So 2 columns, 3 columns, we can divide into 2 columns. So in one column, it can show the navigation. In another column, it can show the main content. We can divide into 2 columns. For that, actually, we have to use an option. So display, we have to use an option display. Display, we have to write grid. We have to write grid. When I put display grid for the section area, you can see grid is defined. In grid, how many columns you want? So display grid. Okay, in grid is used to arrange the content into rows and columns. How many columns you want? You have to tell that. So here we have to use an attribute, grid template columns. Grid template columns. How many columns you want? You have to tell the number of columns. Grid template columns. I want, suppose here grid template columns, I want 2 columns. How much width? How many columns maximum you can have? 12 columns. How much width you want for every column? So you have to tell that. You can simply write, remember, columns can be 1 to 12 maximum. So you have to tell left column 200 pixels, comma, right column some 800 pixels. Like this we are writing. That means total 1000 pixels. So then you can see the columns distribution will be in this way. But we don't have any content displaying there. So we have 200 and 800 pixels, the column. You can see the content will be divided like this. That means 200 pixels, one column. and 800 pixels another column. The information will be arranged in this way. Information will be arranged in this way. So display grid, how many columns? You can, if I give pixels, the problem with pixel is later when I change the size, zoom, then it will be standard these pixels. So we have a habit of writing like this, 2 fractions. That means FR. FR means 2 fractions. That means 2%. 2% left column. 10 fractions right column. That means out of 12, we have to distribute it. Out of 12, we have to distribute. So if you put, so as one is 2, another one is 6, another one is 2, you can divide. It's not that there should be only 2 columns. You can have any number of columns. What is advantage of writing like this is it will correctly fit according to the browser. It will fit correctly according to the browser. And you can see that it fits according to the browser. So in the section, we have 2 areas. So navigation area 1, that is the main container. Another one, main, we have everything is present inside this navigation and main. So these 2 are divided into 2 columns. Navigation will come in 2 fractions. Main will come in several 8 fractions. So that we have designed by using 2 fraction, 10 fraction. This is displaying section into multiple columns. So to display that, you have to use an option, display as grid. So the content inside the section will be displayed as grid. And grid contains template columns. So how many columns we have to tell? Everyone understood this also? Is it clear? That means what is meaning of display grid and what is grid template columns. You can write in pixels and you can write in fractions. Fractions will give a good responsive design. So better use always fractions. Okay. Now section is also ready. So section is also ready. Fine. Now let's go to nav. So we have menu. Inside menu, you can see inside menu, we have divs. Suppose if I write div, it will affect for all divs. There may be div somewhere else. It will affect there also. But we want to affect to the div which is present inside menu. Then we have to write like this, menu space div. Understood? This indicates that it will apply effects to the div which is present inside menu. Right? If I write only div, that means you see menu inside menu div. If you directly apply, if you directly write div, it will apply everywhere. You may be using div in so many places. It will affect everywhere. We don't want like that. That's the reason what we do here is here we have to just put menu div. That means inside the menu div. For that, what I am giving here is, so for every div width, I am giving as some 150 pixels. I am using border as 2 pixels, solid border. So we are keeping 2 pixel solid border. You can see all the divs will be like this. All the divs will be like this. And for the div, I am giving font size as some 20 pixel. Then font size will increase there. Okay, text align, I will keep as center. Padding, I will give as some 3 pixel. And you can see it looks like this. Padding is like this. You can keep text align. By default, it is left. You can see that is left. You can adjust the width. It is not 150 pixel, 120 pixel, then width is adjusted. I want some space below every div. some space below every div. So we can use here margin bottom, means bottom margin 10 pixel or 20 pixel. Every div bottom margin will be 20 pixel. It will put some space. I want to put like a button-like appearance. So I can put background color tomato like this. And the color I can keep as white. Font weight I can keep as bold. Then you can see it looks like this. We can give a button-like appearance. So you see padding, you give 5 pixels, it will have more space around it. And you see here, these are boxes, border 2 pixel. We can also write border radius 10 pixel. Then you can see corner will be curved like this. Buttons will be like curved. That means you can see left side, the border, so the curve will be there. These are divs displayed one below another, blocks. And we are just creating a small navigation like content. Later we will learn how to put related symbols and icons inside this. We will see that how to design and how do we work with that. Initially, this is the basic option. You have why we are writing menu space div. If I don't write this, it will apply this to every div available in the page. Now this indicates that it will apply only for the div inside menu. So that is the effect you are giving, width, border, padding and all. We can give a lot of other effects I will show later. So initially that is fine. And you see I have a figure. So for figure, I am writing some height as suppose 140 pixel and border as 2 pixel dotted. I am giving a dotted border and you can see the figure area comes like this. And I will keep width as some 150 pixel and you can see the figure area comes like this. Later we can put images inside it. As of now, just we are designing a box, just we are keeping that. And observe here, so this is similarly you can add for aside. We can add for aside. For aside, height is equal to, suppose I given as, so 120 or 100 pixel or 60 pixel. And width is equal to, suppose 100 pixel. And border is 2 pixel dotted. So dotted border, and you can see that it will be like this. I can keep this right side. Suppose I am writing like float right. So you can see that the float right, it will keep right side. You can arrange that anywhere and you can keep that right side. Later you will learn how to design right side columns and all these things if necessary. So it will keep that right side. And display. And that is aside. Similarly, you can write for article. I can keep article as some border 2 pixel solid. And for article, I can set background color as yellow. Suppose I said color as red. So like this. So article have such appearance. I can keep it down, center, bottom, anywhere you want. You can configure that. That means you can make this appear wherever you want. You can place anywhere you want. I want little bit. So this section is immediate. That means you see below the header, I want some space. So then after the header, you can give margin bottom as 20 pixel. That means below the header, some space will come. Similarly, below the footer, below the header, you can adjust the space. We can keep some space accordingly. We can keep the content accordingly here. So you can keep your content anywhere you want. You can display anywhere you want. So suppose I'm defining here width. Article is having some width as some 100 pixels, and that width is adjusted like this. You can keep it center, you can keep it right side, anywhere you want. Suppose I said this also float right, it will be right side. We have article and aside. We can keep one below another, one beside another, center, anywhere you want, you can define. Later we will learn more alignments and indentation. This is our first day of understanding basic style. So you don't need to worry about complex things. You will achieve the real world screens. So once you start working on them. So everything looks fine. Everything is there here. So divs, spans, header, footer, navigation. But one concept is missing here. What is missing here? So, dialogue is not there here. I created a dialogue. Dialogue is not there here. That means figure is there, article is there, aside is there, main content is there, a nav menu is there, header, footer is there, div spans are there, but we don't have. So that is what I said, right? So in English, I told you very clearly that what we are designing in the class, that is enough. How to do that, how to do this, how to do that, later you will learn. Don't get excited. Understood? Jayanta Mehto. You understood my English? Right. I will be very pleased if you understood my English. Because again and again, from the beginning of the class, I am telling this point that you will learn different effects in later stage. Don't get excited. Just concentrate on what I am discussing in the class currently. Everyone understood that point? Because again, these people are coming with questions. Sir, how to do that? How to do this? I will tell, don't get excited. You just learn for the concept of what we discussed in the class today. That's enough. Later you are going to do everything. First day itself, don't think that you will design a Facebook-like website. In first day, I want like Facebook, I want like YouTube. That's like joke, right? You can't do that. You have to learn so many things for that. Because you people sometimes come, sir, in Facebook, it will be like this. How to design? How to design? You learn first, then you will learn how to design. Right. So that's the reason. Right. Now the point is we have to display the dialogue. Dialogue is missing. You see, we have a dialogue inside it, but dialogue is not shown anywhere because dialogue actually requires an option called open. It requires an option called open. When I use open, you can see that the dialogue opens here. But we will keep this dialogue open and keep in the main top because later with JavaScript we can do that. You can see that dialogue comes here. We can keep at the bottom corner and we can open it like a pop-up. So we can do a lot of things that we will see. So in later stage, we can keep that, we can handle that. You can keep this dialogue, even sometimes you can keep this in the navigation area. In the navigation area, you can keep that dialogue. It comes in the navigation area. But dialogue comes somewhere here floating on it. Because dialogue have that nature, we have to change its position, minimize, maximize. We can keep and take it and display inside this left bar, right bar, somewhere, wherever you want. For that, we need to add some more effects. Currently we are not adding those effects. Actually, so for dialogue, we have to write the effect as position. We have to write like position. Later you will learn position. So position, we say some fixed. Position fixed. at the bottom, so bottom, some or some right, I will give as right. So right as 10 pixel, and bottom, so we will say bottom as suppose some 20 pixel. So bottom 20 pixel right, and you see it will be like this. We can fix that there. We can change its position wherever you want. You can keep that. So bottom 120, it will come a little bit. So you can change from the right. So 100 pixels, left 100 pixels, you can change. So those you will learn later. No need to worry. So as of now, you just turn on the dialog. It's enough. How to turn on the dialog? Just you have to use the option open. Dialog requires an attribute. So you have to just write the attribute for the dialog as open. So that means you keep the dialog open. That's it. If you don't use open, then it will not display inside the page. We will keep that open, and later in JavaScript and CSS, you will learn how to open and close dynamically. We can put a button, we can click the button, close that, open it, just like you have seen in the website. So this is the basic of semantics inside the body. In the semantics, you have seen what's newly added into the body. Several more are there. We will learn paragraphs, headings, and ordered list, unordered list, images, tables, forms. So how to write bold, italic fonts. All this comes in the body only. Now we have some more options in the body section. So those we will discuss how to handle with them. Initially, everyone understood this. Is it clear? Everyone understood this? I will upload this into Classroom. Now you have to try this. Once you try this, now I will give you a task tomorrow. That task you have to do by yourself and show me. That means I will give you another layout. You have to design that. First, you practice what I have given today in the class. Then if you feel any difficulty, let me know in the next session. I will explain one more time if you are having a problem in understanding. Okay. Then we can do more better layouts and designs. And we will learn more options inside the body section. Okay. So now tomorrow we will continue with that. Today I will upload this layout page into the Classroom. Practice it. Okay. Na? Already in the notes, introduction to HTML document, everything is there. What is aside, what is article with examples. So I am not uploading notes every day because first day, the notes I uploaded, it contains entire HTML notes. Understood? Day by day examples, which we are doing in class, I will upload. Those you practice. Okay. Tomorrow we will continue with this. Fine. Right.